Welcome back. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez live on West Coast Radio. My next guest is the National Assembly member for Foni Kansala, the Honorable Almameh Gibba. He's already in the studio, but before we begin our conversation, Madi Jobate, listening very keenly to the conversation with the Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Honorable Rohi John Manjang. Well, he had her say that Yaya Jammeh used to do his tours in 30 days and above. Madi begs to differ, and he has forwarded articles which suggest that in 2013, President Jammeh did the tour in only 20 days, and in 2015, even less, only 16 days. So, yeah, Madi always fact-checking people online, and hopefully Madi is also tuned in. Earlier this year, it was difficult to keep Almameh Gibba's name out of the news headlines, both locally and internationally. The Foni Kansala National Assembly member, an avowed devout Muslim, introduced the private member's bill titled the Women Amendment Bill 2024, seeking to overturn the ban on female genital mutilation in the Gambia. They would say female circumcision, arguing that it sought to uphold religious loyalty and safeguard cultural norms and values. The bill made Gibba famous, some would say notorious. But thanks to a vigorous campaign, including by some of the country's biggest donor partners, the government successfully lobbied a majority of Gibba's House colleagues to vote against the acceptance of FGM as a legal practice. Honorable Almameh Gibba, as I said, is my guest. Welcome to West Coast Radio Studios for the very first time.
Thank you very much, Peter. I think this is the first time ever that I've been in the studio.
Oh,
though
not only West Coast Radio, in a radio studio.
No.
West Coast Radio.
West Coast,
yes,
for that
okay,
particular.
Okay.
We've been doing the calls on interviews, grant interviews to your programs. But to be in your studio, I think this is the first time in the
Thank you very
last
much.
quarter of the year.
Thank you very much for taking time to be here.
Thank you so
Now,
much. Yeah.
as we talk, there is what is known as 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and FGM, or female circumcision, is listed as one of those, acts of violence against women. Do you agree?
I totally disagree in IS, and I have evidence-based, practical, both theory and scientific evidence that has not shown, or the activists or people who are campaigning, empirical evidence in the Gambian context, even internationally, to show that female circumcision is a gender-based violence. There are no facts. And what I could also show up to inform the populace, most of the Gambian context, looking at the issues of campaigners, they have failed vigorously in the area of, working towards unearthing the truth. The so-called activism that they are doing, we have seen it prudently, very clear, that a doctor inherited and had did type 2 or type 3. It was a silence thing in this country. A court case was in the court, and empirically, a so-called doctor who went to meet the committee in the National Assembly with a powerful delegation of Gamgo Track and other activism, he was vindicated, caught in red-handed, 2 weeks after the campaign to successfully fail the bill. That will also, one, protect our religious values, to our cultural norms and values, where he acted on inducing and requesting monetary gains. It is evident, I have put it in a written and audio, that he should be arrested and the IGPs will intervene. Activists, all issues, they're all silent. So whoever is saying that it is part and parcel of what they are now saying, gender-based violence, I'm asking for evidence and data. Nowhere found in the Gambian, in the area of, public health, in the area of medicine, in the area of doctors, a realistic doctor who had worked in the RVH, Dr. Keita, empirically showed that there's no ample evidence that is here to show. So these are all issues that I think It is attached to monetary gains. It is attached to Western conspiracy. It is attached to at least create a barricade to our traditional religious values, in which I part and parcel. I'm not part of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You accuse, some of the campaigners against FGM of receiving money from external donors. But likewise, they are accusing you of also being funded externally. When 3 circumcisers were convicted, their fines were paid by a Muslim cleric, who has worked with you on this bill. I mean, where was that money coming from?
Actually, I think we need to correct the wrongs. Donor funders, and I as a Muslim or a traditional belief, to say, okay, Peter, I will give you this money to bail you out from your right. Imam did it holistic on his own pocket. And people who believe in the practice, and people who believe in the...
this was not money he was receiving from anyone.
It was not received. And I can tell you, donor funders, me, I've been informed or even been taken through. We had a conference that we had. The lady told me that, Honorable, if we're developing a report, we don't put there FGM, we will not get donor funding. I said, and this word is borrowed and it's attached to monetary gains. And all those people who are circumambulating around, I asked one guy that she told me, I said, before, when did you start this practice? He said, okay, I started 4 years ago, whatever. I said, did you went to circumcision? He said, yes. I said, are you mutilated? He said, no. I said, now, why do you use this Agorani name? I think the right procedures and method is, if anything that is wrong into these particular issues, let's find ways and means. So I'm telling you, Imam and his surrogates or people, for example, they want to, bail the lady, a 60, 70, 80 years old woman who had did this for 40 years without no casualty. How many medical practitioners women are dying in delivery, labor, a lot of issues? I can tell you, on all my research, before I came to this, I went to various hospitals. Buyam General Basse, you talk of RVTH, Serekunda General Hospital. Peter, I can tell you, there's no empirical evidence that is attached. And I'm here to be corrected. Any doctor in the Gambia, I'm ready to challenge anyone, internationally but locally, if they have any case that is attached to female circumcision, they could not give any proofs. So here, for example, you want to condemn something that you don't have any empirical evidence on that. And now, doctors are also making monetary gains based on this. They're going and stitching young girls against what they think they will be able to at least, accept their boyfriend that I'm a virgin. It happens. And it's all over in this country. But those activists are not talking about that. So now you see this interest gain momentum. And the monetary aspect that they are now talking. I'm telling you, why would the UN, put their hand in this? Why would the former British Prime Minister put their hand in this?
Because they're worried,
No, they're not worried.
They're worried for the health of young girls.
No, the health now is, if you change the nomenclature of a man to a woman, you go through surgical operations. You change the bisexual organ. This is more heinous and inhumane in this condition. But now they are celebrating this act. I am now saying this is religious tradition, and you want to condemn. And there are conventions, international conventions, that give that leverage. And even in the Gambian context, Section 32 of the Constitution has given me my right to perform my culture and my belief. So if you're now trying to put that barricade to people, you are taking them over.
So you are saying it's wrong to accept transsexuals.
Exactly.
Yet you're condemning
and homosexual is also taking the same. National Human Rights Commission had a forum on this discussion, and it's surfacing in this country. But now these activists, you don't hear them talking. Now let me tell them, I do tell them, if you want to gain money through this discourse, that arena in that. And I'm telling you, I attended their conferences. And some of them will not even invite me that I'm a pro, I don't want this. For example, I told them, if you want facts, let's put facts in place. So scientifically, no evidence is
so. In short, for you, the movement against FGM is all about money.
It's all about money.
If money stopped coming in tomorrow, you won't hear them again.
You won't hear them. I met Wasukafu, they told me. I met some of them. They'll even tell me, you know what? This is the deal. In this bill, the traumatizing that I went through, if I was not strong enough, it will be a distorted moment.
When I spoke to you, about this Women Amendment Bill 2024, and I asked how confident you were that the bill would pass, you told me,
Yes.
Peter, you wait. I was in the UK at the time. You told me, you wait. All right? When we come, to vote on this, you will be surprised. The majority of my colleagues are in favor, but ultimately, you weren't proven right.
Yeah, they were taken away by the fear of presidency. It was a hard
The president was intimidating everybody.
intervening full time and threatening them.
Threatening them.
Threatening them, I can tell you. Others
How?
were even called to State House.
How was he
That
threatening
if
them?
you don't vote for me, you don't love me. The donor partners.
That's not a threat.
I'm telling you.
But
No.
that's
What I'm saying is, for example, now you love the president. He's in this crisis. He said that if this bill is repealed, 1, aid cut from the West. 2, they will give him the bag. 3,
The bag?
yes.
What's the bag?
That is what I mean is they will not no more listen to him.
Oh, okay. They would show him their bag.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, if his own members are called and said, so far you love the president, vote for me. And he went to his son a day, empirically put it clear, their stand. So oppositionally, people who support the president, even if, this is the context in our Gambian parliament, the 6th lady, even the president is wrong, they will support it. They will shout. We've seen a lot of laws that have been flattened and whatever. So far you are the incumbent, it doesn't matter. Let's vote for his gain and the rest is history.
And we understand some members of parliament also went to Egypt.
Yeah, they went to Egypt for them to
do what?
They said they went to Egypt to learn best practice, a study tour. And I can tell you.
Yeah, but that's positive.
Now, the positiveness of it now is they only went to enrich themselves.
How?
Because the monies that they gain in this trip, they have never gained in their parliamentary career, even they are sent in parliamentary.
On average, how much was you each given, do you think?
I think 100 plus.
$1,000 or dollars?
No, in dollars. They were paid in dollars. Foreign currency, but they converted in dollars. And now, as I'm telling you, they went to Egypt. Their going to Egypt was mainly sponsored by the aids, that is the donor partners. All was donor partners. And I tell them, and I take it to the floor in parliament, that their report is all donor copied. It was the donors that were speaking in the report, not them. In the midst of our process in Parliament of the Women Amendment Bill, the report was circulated all over. So I told them that it's all donor copied. Donors are the one working in their heads. And I tell them, I will not be part and parcel of a country in which I believe in my religious, my cultural norms and values to be carried just like a wheelbarrow by donors and said, okay, be here, do this, don't do that. So these are issues that I think they are compromising with their own belief.
Are you therefore worried for democracy and independence, as a people, that, external influence would even affect, the way we think about, what is supposed to be part and parcel of our beliefs?
No, I'm worried if a UK Prime Minister could involve in our legislative process. The UN
the UK
bodies.
Prime Minister at the time was involved.
At the time. I told him that you are going for election, that you will lose.
Was it Rishi Sunak?
Yes, he's the one.
Oh.
When Fadumbo Bensouda went to dinner with him, he made a statement threatening of visa cuts. I told them that we have the right to move, as you also have the right for us to move. So, for example, the UN also are involved in agencies that we all know for their favorism in terms of against African context and norms and values. Today, you cannot go to America and say, bisexual is this. Or you go to America and now preach or said, okay, I want you to put a law on polygamy. Or in England, a law on polygamy. You will not. You're not there mad. But the West will come to us and impose their own belief. And work towards gaining that African context, without which everything that we do will be borrowed. Our budget is borrowed, Our thinking is also borrowed.
We'll talk about
our
the
land
budget.
is also
We'll talk about the budget in a minute.
A lot of all issues, whatever we are doing in the conceptual approach, in our democracy, is all borrowed. Why? Because we are a copycat. We are copying from them.
Just to draw a line on these FGM or female circumcision issue. So the bill, your bill has been defeated in Parliament. Have you given up?
The bill is defeated in Parliament. It's a process. And I was also very happy to show to the whole world that whatever their plans, we are still solid and resilient to move a course. Currently, we've passed it in court. And by December ending, the law will take its course.
You've gone to court?
Yes. It's in court right now.
Still trying to legalize
yes, I am trying
female circumcision in this country.
Not only legalizing, to decongest the rights of believers. These are the facts that are there.
Decongest.
Yes.
We're talking to Honorable Almameh Gibba from Foni, Kansala. Let's talk about Foni, Kansala and Foni in general. Last week you were on Coffee Time, yes, raising an alarm, warning the government that, if they didn't take measures, and take them soon, Foni could erupt in warfare. How do you mean?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm sorry as a country that I belong to. 2016 till date, I can put it on record. It was on the 1st of January. From 2016, 1st of January 2024, that we had a high-power delegate from Security Council to visit with all the tears and deaths that are occurring in Foni since the inception of this chain. Because what I mean is, all this catastrophe that are happening in Foni is because of the occupancy of the Senegalese forces in Foni. And I can tell you with evidence that the war that erupted in 2017, it was geared towards the Senegalese soldiers who were stationed in Buyam. They went past the border region of Balen into the Casamance region. This was what had held a warfare between the rebels and the Senegalese soldiers in the Gambia, not in Casamance. So when it happens, others were killed, 7 were captured, discussions were made with ECOWAS and whatever protocols, they were released and taken back to Senegal. So this is why Macky came with a combat warfare. Now I can tell you this for free, Peter. Within the border region, the other side of Casamance is the Senegalese forces. In the middle, you have the rebels. At the Gambian side, you have the Senegalese in the Gambian soil. So it means as if it's a buffer. The buffer is between the Senegalese, inside you have the rebels, and in the Gambian country you have the Senegalese forces. And when war is erupting in the border, you will see that the Senegalese soldiers in Foni are in combat ready. What does it signify? It means the Macky government and that of Adama Barrow had signed a deal. And this was a contract that they have signed in 2017. And I've been putting this in Parliament. We want to know who are the signatories of this.
Why is Parliament not listening to you?
I've said it. The ministers will come and lie to us. Parliament is just taking a bench of trying to support the government. Because these are empirical issues. The insecurity in Foni is the insecurity of the Gambian context. And I can tell you, the first person who was shot dead by the Senegalese forces is a son of Foni. When he was shot a day or two, all those contingent officers or soldiers who were in Foni were repatriated back to Senegal. They brought a new force and still been put into Defense Minister, Interior Minister, Adama Barrow. We came with a petition to the president. It was just like a deaf ear was laid. So actually, you cannot count the number of deaths that Foni had in the period of Adama Barrow. Shot in the border, drones they will be selling drones inside Foni, house are destroyed, they are left vulnerable. And I can tell you, Peter, by records, since our pre-colonial era, from Jawara's regime, or even let me say the pre-colonial British also, to the Jawara regime and Jammeh, you have never had Gabego or grade 9 exams been pushed. It was in the Barrow government due to the crisis in the Foni region. I can tell you, school education from 2017, send an investigative journalist from 2017 till date, and now from 2016 down to the Jammeh era, schools in Foni, the performance is way better than that of Barrow. Because I can tell you, go to border schools. If you have a class of 30, now you're only having a class of 20 or 15 due to the incursions of Senegalese. Senegal will come and take ownership of a village. 2 months ago, they took ownership of a village in Foni Bondale. 2 weeks ago, it was in Kanila.
Why didn't you call in the Gambian National Army?
They came. Whenever you call the Gambian National, before they respond, the Senegalese have already entered. Inform the Minister of Defense, inform the National Security Advisor, inform the CDS, we will take it heads on. But I see that Gambia is borrowed to Senegal. Our country is borrowed to Senegal. And all the belt region, Senegal is taking control. Because what happened is, not once, not twice, Senegal will come and chastise with the arm and ammunition in the border region. While our Gambian soldiers are only having AK-47. They are demoralized. And Senegal has already taken control. And they knew. And secondly, not be surprised, when our own security, when Senegalese securities are holding the security of the presidency, what does it tell? In 2006, a cell landed in a village in Foni Bintankarana. The former president said, if it happens, that will be history. From 2006, it always started as if rains, drops of rains, of cells landing, and even crossing the Brikama Soma Highway to the other side. It happens in Barrow's regime. Nothing was said. We are negotiating. I have informed Macky Sall. We have informed Defense Minister of Senegal. We have informed this. But seriousness is not taken. You know, when a country is compromised security, in terms of security, they tend not to own themselves. And they tend to be followers. And they tend to depend in what they think their neighbors. Because what I do normally say is, maybe Barrow thought his father or his brother was the one who put him in power, Macky. Because he was compromising a lot of issues. Because
Macky is not Barrow's father.
No, what I'm saying is that is the norm that we see. That whatever happens now, it said, my brother, my father, my whatever.
He calls him his father?
His brother.
Yeah, brother, I can understand, but not father.
You know, leading the legacy aspect.
Usain Udabo is his father.
But now father and brother and sonhood is no more there.
No, but on a serious note, you know, what is the local people's contribution, you know, to all these, you know, unrest in the Fonis? What are you doing to the Senegalese forces that is forcing them to react the way they are?
No, the reaction of it is, what has Senegal did for the people of Foni to react? Or what has Senegalese forces did for it to happen this way? I said it was a truck that they cased from Buyam checkpoint and entered into Balen. This is what had happened.
What was the truck carrying?
Logs.
Okay.
And the logs, they said...
Logs allegedly from where?
No, they said the logs is from Senegal.
Yeah.
And they said, we got the logs from the Gambia. So now, even if our Senegalese forces, you know, forestry officers in the Gambia, our Senegalese forces police officers, our Senegalese forces custom officers in the Gambia, they could have been at the border region to be able to see intruders that we are in the border. Any truck that comes from Senegal will intercept. But in the Gambian aspects, what right do they have to make sure they walk into this? And generally, for me, as a representative of the people, I make sure, and I've made empirical evidence. Evidence is there with the 4th Infantry Battalion in Kanila. We do what we call confidence building tour. I inform my people, the border in Senegal is not our border. Don't enter into the Casamas to do anything that is illegal. Whatever is illegal in Casamas or whatever is illegal in the Gambia should not be done in the Casama territory. So if, for example, that is my advocacy, and I use the military, and they're doing extremely well at the border region. But sometimes you cannot incur people. They will say, okay, I went to Casamas to find logs, sorry, wood. I went to Casamas to do X, Y, Z. And now the other aspect that we have in common is borderline region. Some of the farms in Foni are in Casamas. They've been farming for years. For example, this is a border. I can tell you.
Some of the farms in Foni are in Casamas.
Are in Casamas. And they'll tell you that, okay, Peter, my father is the one who owns this. And from our ancestors in this village in Casamas.
Is that why the Senegalese are now claiming this village you say is in the Gambia as theirs, part of their country? Yeah,
they are claiming a village in the Gambia as part of Casamas. And the soldiers told, the intelligence soldiers told them that you have already passed. Can you check over there? That is where the borderline is. And I can tell you for free, I've been telling this for the government. Whoever said that our border doesn't have demarcation is a joke. It doesn't go through the border. All our areas from
our borders are demarcated.
Yes, from Kalaji down to where Foni ends in Bullock, all is demarcated. We went with the soldiers, I've shown them, and I've been taking pictures, showing the government, putting it to them, that borders are demarcated. It is just like a free will that the Senegalese are now taking over and said, okay, I think, we can come. And sometimes now, for example, when they into the Gambia, they fight the rebels, enter into the Gambia. When it is night, they are afraid to go. So they have to take refuge in the country. It happens in Dikes. After early morning, you see them moving.
Okay.
So this all happen is that...
What will it take to pacify the Foni?
Generally, the best that could do approach is to decongest the occupancy.
Remove the soldiers in other
Remove
words.
the soldiers in Foni, the Senegalese soldiers. I told them,
soldiers.
made it very clear. If, for example, what they believe, and they said, okay, this is an economic thing, I differ. 2017, when Aruna Jata was shot, the economic commander, Njai then, the Senegalese commander, who was commanding the economy, said it clear. We went to him. He said...
What did he say clear?
He said that the soldiers in Foni are not part of the economy. Archives are there. Look at standard newspaper, point newspapers. You can go through. He said they are not part of economic's mandate. And what I can also attest that, even if they want to do change, we all know that when economy is about to redeploy orders, okay, the Nigerians are going, Ghana are coming back. These are going. But in the Fonis, you will see a mass exodus of soldiers in Kanilai. They will take an en route to Jiboro, enter Casamas. You will see another mass exodus of arsenals with Senegalese forces enter into the Gambia and going to Kanilai. And it was never announced. So this was what we were saying, that it's a deal between the Senegalese government and that of the Gambia, and in which the President Barrow is not ready to spill the beans. And we told him that...
Well, he's coming to Foni very soon on his Meet the People tour.
It's a political move.
Maybe you can get him to spill the beans there.
No, we've sent him a petition, and we sat with him tete-a-tete. He was not even telling us anything that is convincing. We have pushed it to the Justice Minister. He will inform us when he's ready. We've been following it, nothing. So ideally, his aspiration is, and I think this is the thought, I may be wrong, but let's intimidate the people of Foni, let's terrorize them, let's condense them, and they'll subdue to the political will of this current government. And we are saying...
And he's using Senegalese forces to do that. Because these are not...
No Nigerians, no Ghanaians. I'm telling you. No Nigerians, no Ghanaians. Senegalese soldiers are the one... I can tell you, Peter Furi, so-called activists, I am in denial with them. I tell them. The crisis in Foni. Who are activists?
Who are you labeling so-called activists?
Any activist in the Gambia who's not ready to talk about issues of Foni is a so-called activist. Do you know why I say? Our young girls are impregnated by the Senegalese forces in Foni.
Really?
They are losing school. Women, a man and his wife are having trouble in Foni because of Senegalese soldiers will go into their compounds. And I'm telling you,
and do what?
Currently,
and do what?
Look for women in their compounds. It happens in Foni. And I can tell you.
You're literally saying the Senegalese soldiers are going into people's compounds and raping their wives. And raping their wives.
Full time. And the other thing that I can tell you is a police case right now. Make your investigation in Buyam police station. A Senegalese soldier took a cutlass to case a man who owns a wife in his compound. It's a police case in Buyam. So, sometimes when we tell people, they will not want to hear. And these are facts. For us, we are not here to beautify their faces or whatever. We will talk as it is and with evidence. I can tell you a lot of trouble that is going on is because of the Senegalese occupancy. I tell them simply, to beautify it. I told them, for example now, if Senegalese soldiers are causing, trouble in Foni, exchange it with Ghanaians, exchange it with Nigerians, and we see what will happen.
Okay. It seems that, these atrocities are happening only within your constituency. I mean, there are 5 National Assembly members in the Fonis. The other 4 are not as vocal as you are. Are they not suffering the same atrocities?
No, they are suffering. Both, for example, the most heinous issues are happening between Foni Kansala and Foni Bintang. And to generalize, to put the context straight, I am also their spokesperson for the 5 Fonis.
Okay.
We have the leadership.
So when you speak for the
yes. So when I speak for the rest of them.
Okay.
But whatever we do
we don't hear them, but they wouldn't counter anything you're saying on behalf of the Foni.
I am the spokesperson.
Okay.
Whatever happens, I will discuss,
Okay.
and now I'll voice out.
Okay.
But and any issue that I can also tell you, the reason why the National Security Council deem it fit to put their shoes and get up on the 1st of January, we were ready to put a rest to these issues of Foni.
How?
We told them
How?
that if you don't act, we will render Foni ungovernable. One, by from Bulok to Kalaji, no car will pass. Enough of trouble. We made it to them very clear.
You can't do that. I mean,
do you know the reason why? We are tired. We are sick and tired
you can't,
of the inhumane.
You can't
we wrote,
you can't,
we informed, we talked, we invited them, we discussed.
You can't shut off the Foni.
No, what I'm saying is we are going to demonstrate our right against the occupation that the Senegalese soldiers are doing in Foni. This was the time, because we made a press conference legally, and we sent the records. We copied the ECOWAS, whatever organizations, even the presidency. We had a talk with him on to the issue of Foni. It was just like, you just go, it's a normal routine. We tell them that we cannot accept that. And Dua of Jilamfari was shot dead inside Gambia. And what happened was, he was kept
a young man or an old man?
He's around the 40s, 50s years old.
Okay.
And now what happened is, they kept him for 21 days. His dead body was nowhere to be found. It's not the government of the Gambia that found the dead body of Dua. It was our pragmatism and our intrusion into asking. We had informed the defense minister that the dead body of Dua is found in Siganson Hospital. This was where the communication was done through Barrow and Maki. This is where they knew that Dua is dead. Thank God, with all the deaths that happened in Foni, nobody was compensated. But for Dua, was given a 1.3 million. We thanks Barrow for that. And the burial, the ministers came. It was...
So you were happy with that?
No, not happy, but partially, saying that they have responded to this call. But actually, it was a tragic incident that Barrow and his government should need to take note of.
Okay.
And I know sooner or later, another TRRC will come. All this will reveal.
How about farming in Foni? There was a time when Foni was considered, a breadbasket for the country.
I can say it for free, Peter. I am sorry for this government. When you took over...
I'm asking about farming.
No, what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying sorry, what had made that farming to be a sorry thing in Foni? When they came over, they took all tractors that Jammeh gave to empower communities, women, and couples in Foni.
They took them away?
To farm. They took them and sold them. It was literally more of Foni from Bulok to Kalaji. It's just like a payback thing. I am telling you, whatever I'm saying here, any minister, call him, we sit here, in West Coast here, I can challenge that particular minister. They took all tractors, power tillers, and sold as if Jammeh had made a crime against empowering his own people. When they did that now, from date, nothing was given to the people of Foni. So the people of Foni were left at the dark. Farming was a trial for them. They had to restore back to the traditional way of farming. For me, actually, last year I had farm, an area where it used to be a bread basket in my constituency, in my village, in Jiramba. But I do farm, and now the procedure I get now, I will give it to the hospital, donate it to the hospital, and also donate to the madrasas and schools. That will also help in their feeding programs. So farming per se, the death of farming in Foni is caused by this government.
So farming is dead in the Fonis?
Actually, literally,
and education,
not dead.
And education is struggling?
No, for education is a big challenge. The records before and now is far away. And schools, it's a challenge.
All right.
Definitely. So these are all issues that I think, governments should concentrate. For example, now, what I do tell people, in as much as Jammeh was a president in Foni, whatever bullying or whatever you're doing now, you should remember. Today, Jammeh is no more there, but the next president could emanate from Foni. Are you saying that president should also pay back again?
Could that be you, the next president to come from the
No, Allah knows, not me. But actually, I'm just saying here is very simple. When Jawara was a president, Bara Jali was not occupied. His compound was also changed to a military barracks. But Jammeh's compound, to put it to you to understand, and I'm in air, Jammeh's family compound, his own ancestral compound, is called the 4th Infantry Battalion. Are we expecting the 5th Infantry Battalion after Adama Barrow leave in power in Mankunda? This is a question that I want to put to Barrow to understand presidency is just a period. Today you are there, next tomorrow somebody will take lead. And again, all his assets were sold. And there's no accountability. I had asked more than 20 questions.
Jammeh's assets.
Assets. No accountability, no transparency. Minister of Justice cannot tell you something. If you ask the presidency, lastly I asked the vice president, because literally when you ask a question to the president, the vice president comes and answers. I put it to him. Assets of Jammeh. We are worried. We want transparency. We want accountability. We want to inform the populace. How were those assets sold? They cannot even tell you anything. A guiding principle that XYZ was done. Do you know what happened in Jammeh's asset?
No.
You know, in the Jola aspect that they call Balpuser.
I know Balpuser.
You know, the hit and whatever.
Yes,
I open forum.
I know Balpuser.
So
I've been to several Balpusers.
Thank you. Jammeh's asset is just Balpuser for this current government. And some of them are rich based on Jammeh's asset. They will not talk. They will not talk. Cows.
Oh, wow.
Assets.
Let's move this conversation on.
Thank you.
Bills, proponents of bills would tell you every bill that comes up in Parliament is important. But to the public, certain bills attract more attention than others. We have the budget proposal bill and the constitution bill, the new constitution bill coming up tomorrow. So big day for the people. Let's start with the draft constitution 2024 bill or promulgation 2024 bill. I mean, what's your position on it?
Peter, the draft constitution is a joke.
It's a joke?
It's a big joke to this country in this 21st century. It's a big joke.
How do you mean?
I personally went to my people, I think 2 weeks ago, because I do tell them whatever is going to happen in Parliament, I have to restore to my people. I have already taken a position, but my position is not solid. I want the majority of my people to act. I am acting based on my people. If it was not what I did with my people, I will not even voice out. I'll just wait for that day I hit the rock in Parliament. A constitution that is went round to the whole country, length and breadth, to seek Peter's opinion, the Muslims' opinion, the Christians' opinion, the Kafirs' opinion, villages, constituencies, where they met and had an informed decision and said, okay, this is a widely consultative constitution. It was thrown away for an interest group. And I can tell you, this current government is not serious of coming with a new constitution. The reason why I say so is because how long have they been in power? When Jammeh left...
Yeah, but you have a new constitution.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You'll be voting.
When Jammeh left, this is 8 years now. 8 years, they could not even come with a constitution. But within that first period, they changed the age limit from 65 to eternity. So far, you are strong and healthy. It doesn't matter my old granny in Foni can even have 90 years, can still be a president. They changed and tweaked the constitution that National Assembly members, if you are removed from your political party, you can still serve. A lot of constitutional changes have been done onto this. So generally, when they had this, they had to throw away what was budgeted, what was financed. Millions were put to the funds of Gambian. And it could have even been used to other, the agricultural sector, the economic sector, the crumbling sector of education. Okay. And I can tell you. So now when it happens, is they are now coming with a new draft.
And you went to your people. What did your people tell you?
My people told them.
Yes.
My people told me that we have put, they told me that the Jola's slogan, they said they have put a bag of salt. You know how heavy the bag of salt is?
Yes, I do.
He said, we've put a bag of salt in your head and a bag of guana. You know guana?
Guana is...
That pepper.
Pepper, yes.
We want you to split it at the National Assembly. That we are not in for
so you're going to create fire in...
Zero draft. If, for example, the first reading, we are permitted by the laws, we will not even waste our time to even read it, proclamation bill. But the second reading, we are going to throw it off. We will inform them and throw it off.
So to you, this draft constitution has no chance?
It's a joke. All issues, for example, in terms of security architect, is zero. Talk of education is zero. Talk of the structural view of integrity of a president is zero. Now you talk of issues that guides, powers are still vested. What they have proclaimed and now, put into Jammeh's era It has been put into this constitution.
Yeah. And some of the powers it seeks to remove away from you, like confirmation of certain appointments and all of that.
So these are issues that, for example, now, that's why I tell people, they are not serious. You know what they are doing? This government are just testing. They just want to satisfy the donors. That at least we have did a try. We have sent it, but they rejected it. But what are you sending to the people? We are elected representatives of the people. And whatever you do in this parliament, this world or the hereafter, you'll be accounted for. For example, a 20 or 30,000 people, sorry, a 25,000 people of Foni Kansala or a 15,000 of people of Foni Kansala, I'm entrusted to go and speak on behalf of them. I go and align myself into a wrong cause. So these are effects that I think is uncalled for. And they knew very well that this constitution is not going to work. For example, they need 43. With all the oppositions, us and others, and even their allies, they cannot even get even a 35. So the constitution is already dead on arrival.
Zero chance. What about the budget?
The budget actually is an estimate, 52 billion, before it was 47.
Almost 53, 52.9.
Exactly, 52.9. So now, when you look at sectors, Peter, we need to incur program-based budgeting. That's the way forward. Without which is a challenge.
That's what the information minister said this budget is.
It's not. For example, now, if you ask some of these ministries, what are your programs that you want to adhere from this 2025 to 2025 January to December? They cannot tell you, anchor on a program. It is only a better informed Minister of Basic Education and Higher Education that is more into program-based budgeting. But guess what? Professor Gomez's ministry has been curtailed to zero. The development budget of Tibet. This is a young guy who is enthusiastic into issues of development of Tibet. But it's zero budgeting. How do you expect Prof to be lobbying, knocking doors of donors?
Maybe he has done it so well, government says, well, just go ahead.
No, I know, they're just killing the man.
You know how to speak to the Turks, you know how to speak to the Chinese, you know how to speak to the Germans.
They're just developing gray hairs to the man. He's not resting. And he did enormous effort. For example, now today, in his career, where have we seen it in the 21st, since Jawara's time? It's not about religious aspect. Prof is a Christian. But he has involved Muslims, madrasas to be given scholarships.
Well, his
role as a minister
is to be there for the Christian as well as the Muslim and even the non-believer.
This is a minister that I can say that never bend your head when you are in parliament. He is ready to act, and he's acting the way he should. Look at Ndemba. We are structures before in Jammeh's time. Today, Ndemba Skill Center is functional. Look at canalized science and technology that Jammeh has initiated. He lobbied. We are going on Wednesday for the inaugural. Look at Mansa Konko, Julangel. But now, if you zero-rise his budget in Tibet, what are you trying to do? Are they trying to say, Professor Gomez, your ministry, your service is not needed? We will argue in parliament. And I told them very hard. Either we put the resources where it is needed, or we will not move as a country. Now, when you look at even the security sectors, some of their budget lines, it's a challenge. You cannot do anything without operations. If an operational budget is kaput, you cannot do anything. And now when you look at other sectors also, these are issues that are highly needed. Now, when you look at this issue, for example now, look at the Minister of Finance. Now look at look at Office of the President. Last year's budget for, meet the people's store. How much? About 40-something. But they spend now, currently, they spend over 60-something million. 50 to 60-something million.
Already?
Yes. And this year, they're now talking of 50 million. Peter, you see these people. I think, for me, what I do tell people is, I think budgetary, some of this budget, they just put figures there. When they come, they can maneuver and do whatever they like. I think what Joe Biden has also said, I think I will also be very happily to correct the Minister of Environment.
No, but she's not Jobate, she's Manjang.
No, Madi Jobate.
Oh, Madi. Okay.
Yeah, it's correct. Jammeh's tour last was 16 days, 21 days, 20 days, 22 days. And now what they have accused Jammeh, they've been doing this. 2 weeks ago, if you had passed Denton Bridge, you would see a fleet of cars that has been seized from government departments. I had a discussion from a source of a department saying the Honorable, whenever tour occurs, our departmental functions are zero. We don't have vehicles. Mobility are ceased. So this is how it is. For example now, the 50 million or the 40 million, what do you use for? truncate and get to inform people. This is what the mandate of Meet the People store. But it's not a political gain. Okay. I'm there, I'm this, whatever. So generally, if you look at the budget whole structure, we don't have a development budget. We have a budget that is more of PEs, personal emolument. And the chunk of our budget goes into PEs. That is sad. And now, when you also said, for example, you have issues to work on development. Private sectors, where are they? It should be reflective. And now, the saddest thing is, we are relying on donor funding. Would it come? And if it fails to come, what are the contingency plan? It's not put in this budget line. Fantastic. Well, looks like the finance minister has his job cut out for him. It's interesting you referenced Madi Jobate just a short while ago. He sent in something for you. Gibba is merely engaged in spreading false information, false equivalence, and diversion. The evidence of harm due to FGM is there and scientifically proven, but he merely ignores or denies facts but would engage in spreading false equivalence, etc. For example, to equate FGM with LGBT is a mere diversion and confusion. To make FGM a Western agenda is disinformation. If he is indeed a person who believes in his culture and Islam, one wonders how he could be a disciple and supporter of Yahya Jammeh until today, who is notorious for flouting cultural and Islamic norms and beliefs during his entire misrule. Thus, Almameh's pro-FGM stance is neither in defense of culture nor Islam, but for an ulterior motive he needs to disclose to the public. What do you say in response? I don't have any ulterior motive. I think in the whole country, the person who needs prayers, both church and Christian, is Madi Jobate. How do you mean? Madi doesn't believe what he believes in. It's unfortunate. A person of caliber like Madi Jobate, issues that are there for the public. A seasonal doctor who had worked for 30 years came outright. Madi doesn't even know how to hold a string. Neither even understand the health aspects. He's more of activism and basically in the law fraternity. So if, for example, a seasonal doctor who said, if there is any proof, he is ready, nothing was given. I had also made it. He could have quoted and said, okay, scientist XYZ said this. This is what is there, this is what is there. So if you speak in parables to entertain the public, you know, Madi's words, he used words to entertain public views. And for me, what I believe in is anything that has no basis scientifically, that has no basis religion, that has no basis culturally, I need evidence based on that. And I need to defend it. I have sat with activists who are more into fighting this cause than Madi. They will tell me, Honorable, you see, it's all a distorted issue, it's all a cause of money. And somebody said, we discussed in a platform. He said, in this report, if you don't put FGM, we will not receive funds. So Madi need to be awakened from sleeping. All right. If Madi is a Madi of Gambia, I think he better look for a way out to solve certain issues. But for me, I'm intact, solid, and I can defend the defenseless, and that's what I'm doing. And what he's saying about this, what about transgender? You distort the progeny of a man to a woman, or a woman to the man. That is democracy. That is activism. That is allowed. Which is more deadly than this one. Islam has made it very clear. Choices. What I'm just saying, Peter, I'm not saying you do Peter by force. There's an ambassador, I can tell him, let me just help Madi. The ambassador told me that, I want you to remove this bill from parliament. He push. I don't want to name the names. But I'm speaking. African ambassador, Western ambassador? Western ambassador. Okay. Me, I had talks with everybody. Wherever they call me at night, morning, whatever, if I had wish, today I will not even talk about this thing. But I mean what I am. She told me, what I want you to remove the bill. I said, what? You know, these things, whatever. I said, now, okay, I will agree to remove it. But one condition. He said, no, if it is about funding, we will fund you. We will fund you. Whatever bill that you want to bring, we will fund you. I said, okay, I'll remove this bill. I said, my bill is clear. The bill is trying to say, if you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to do it, you are free. If you repeal, when you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to do it, you leave it. But now I'm going to bring a bill that every woman in this country, I was speaking direct to that ambassador, that every woman in this country must be circumcised. Second, every woman who's an ambassador coming from West to do an ambassadorial job in the country must be circumcised. He said, I'm crazy. That was the end of the talk. So Mahdi, let him just enjoy his twisting words that he's saying to the public. Mahdi is no more relevant. The issues of Foni that are happening, Mahdi has never talked of. The demoralized aspects, lack of school-going children, young ones who are impregnated in Foni, the catastrophe or trial that Foni is going through, he's just sidelined and focused in one end. If you want to be an activist, we want to see an activist of all, but not an activist of a cohort. So if Mahdi want to join the bandwagons of activists, he's welcome. But for me, my stand is very clear, and the stand of the populace, irrespective of our religious belief, tradition must be upheld. And we are saying zero to Western hegemonies, or zero to Western concepts and thinking.
Honorable Alhaji, you've not been to Mecca yet, have you?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes.
Honorable Alhaji Almameh Gibba. By the way, when you just, won the election, people were confused about the pronunciation of your name, even the writing of your name.
Yes.
Some were saying Almami, some were saying Almameh, and some were writing M-A-M-Y, some were writing M-A-M-E-H. How do you write your name? How do you say your name?
I am Almameh, M-E-H.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Honorable Alhaji Almameh Gibba, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
National Assembly member for Foni Kansala. We should have done 30 minutes. We've done almost one hour. We'll bring you back here. There's a lot more, I am sure, to talk about. And good luck, for your deliberations in Parliament from tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
We will all be ears, listening to how things go about in the budget. I hope you succeed in cutting it down.
Exactly.
And also the Constitution.
All right,
and that brings us to the end of coffee time this morning, and we'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock.